Hey, history lovers! Welcome to History Rage. Today we're diving into the wild, messy saga of Iran and the U.S. It all kicks off in the 19th century when Iran, stuck between British and Russian empires, turns to the U.S. for help. In 1883, they set up diplomatic ties, hoping America's a neutral buddy. Fast forward to 1911, Iran hires an American, Morgan Schuster, to fix their finances, but the Brits and Russians kick him out. Still, Iranians see the U.S. as a friend against colonial powers. Things get cozy in the early 20th century. Pro-American riots even break out in 1919 when the U.S. stands up to Britain's meddling. By the 1940s, during W. Ford, U.S. troops roll into Iran to ship supplies to the Soviets, calling Iran a bridge to victory. But victory for the Allies feels like tragedy for Iranians. More foreign boots on their soil. Then, in 1953, everything flips. The U.S. and Britain orchestrate a coup to oust Iran's elected PM, Mohammad Mossadegh, after he nationalizes Iran's oil. They bring back the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, a Western puppet. Iranians feel betrayed. This coup plants the seeds of distrust that'll explode later. Next, we'll rage into how the Shah's rule sets the stage for a revolution. Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about how Iran and the U.S. went from allies to enemies. By the 1970s, the Shah's living large, U.S. weapons, oil money, and a brutal secret police keeping folks in line. But Iranians are fed up with his corruption and westernization. Enter 1979, the Islamic Revolution. The Shah flees, and Ayatollah Khomeini, a fiery cleric, takes over, turning Iran into an anti-West theocracy. Khomeini calls the U.S. the Great Satan. Yikes. Things get crazier in November 1979 when Iranian students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, taking 52 Americans hostage for 444 days. They're pissed about the 1953 coup and the Shah getting medical treatment in the U.S. The hostage crisis tanks relations, America cuts ties in April 1980, slaps sanctions, and freezes Iran's assets. Meanwhile, Iraq, led by Saddam Hussein, invades Iran in 1980, starting an 8-year war. The U.S. backs Iraq with cash, intel, and weapons, even though Saddam's using chemical weapons on Iranians. In 1988, the U.S. Navy shoots down Iran Air Flight 655, a civilian plane, killing 290 people. They call it an accident, but Iranians see it as proof of U.S. hostility. This era sets the tone for decades of bad blood. Next, we'll rage into the nuclear drama. Stay tuned. Let's dive into the nuclear drama between Iran and the U.S. In the 1990s, things chill a bit. Reformist President Mohammad Khatami even calls for a dialogue of civilizations. But in 2002, George W. Bush labels Iran part of an axis of evil, with Iraq and North Korea, killing any hope of peace. That same year, an Iranian opposition group spills the beans. Iran's got secret nuclear sites. The U.S. accuses Iran of chasing nukes. Iran says it's just for energy. Sanctions pile on. UN, U.S., EU, you name it. Iran's currency tanks and hardliners dig in. In 2013, a glimmer of hope. Moderate President Hassan Rouhani takes office, and he and Obama have a historic phone call, the first top-level chat since 1979. By 2015, they seal the JCPOA nuclear deal. Iran limits its nuclear program, and the West eases sanctions. But in 2018, Trump pulls the U.S. out, slaps maximum pressure sanctions, and kills Iran's top general, Qasem Soleimani, in a 2020 drone strike. Iran hits back with missile strikes on U.S. bases in Iraq. Tensions skyrocket. Iran ramps up uranium enrichment, backs proxies like Hezbollah, and fights the U.S. through militias in Syria, Yemen, and Iraq. By 2024, Iran's even launching direct attacks on Israel after Israeli strikes on Iranian targets in Syria. The Middle East is a powder keg. Next, we'll rage into where we're at now. What's your take? Hit the comments. Let's see where Iran and the US stand today. April 2025. After Trump's 2018 exit from the nuclear deal, Iran's economy nosedives, but they don't back down. They enrich uranium way past JCPOA limits, and by 2006, they had enough for 10 bombs. Imagine now! Biden tried to revive the deal in 2021, but talks stall. Iran's hardline president Ibrahim Raisi and a tougher parliament aren't budging. Protests over human rights and the economy rock Iran, but the regime doubles down. Trump's back in 2025, and he's not playing nice. New sanctions, B-52 flyovers near Iran, and joint drills with Israel. Iran's response? Naval exercises with Russia and China in the Gulf. On April 13, 2024, Iran launches its first direct attack on Israel, over 300 drones and missiles, after Israel hits Iranian officers in Syria. The US and Iran are also clashing through proxies in Gaza, Yemen, and Iraq, with fears of all-out war at an all-time high. Trump's pushing a maximum pressure memo, demanding a new nuclear deal in 2 months or threatening military action. But experts say this won't work. Iran's shown they'll resist, not fold. Some hope for diplomacy. Obama and Iran's Javad Zarif shook hands in 2015, a first since 1979. But hardliners on both sides keep the hate alive. Will we see peace or war? Thanks for raging with us on History Rage. Smash that like, drop your hot takes, and subscribe for more.